Hello. Hello everybody. The camera is stuck, so give me a second. Oh, because of course it is. There you go. Now it's unstuck. Tone, shut up. I don't want to hear it. And you know why I'm saying this. Thank you everybody for joining me for part 4 of Meat Propaganda versus EAT-Lancet report. Today, echo. Do I have echo? Still? Echo. Let me see. Weird. Mic. How about now? Is this better? Or not so much? It's a feedback from somewhere. Still echo. Okay. I don't know why that would be. Let me check my sound settings. Hello, hello. Microphone must be fine. Hello, hello, hello. It's not really bad though. Well, it still sucks. It's probably like picks up the mic on my camera somehow. Still, does this still happen? Still echoing? If I do this? Arguable. I don't know what that means. Yes, still, so that's not what happens. How about now? Are we doing better? The filters are gonna suck. Yay, better, but I don't know which mic is it coming from. Things. It's not my mic. It doesn't come from a mic now. Well, that's not good. How about now? What's happening now? It's working, let's go? No. If it doesn't come from a mic, if it comes from like the camera or something, that sucks. Now double. Okay. Can you hear me okay though? Like if I put my mic away? I have no idea. Let me. It's coming. Yeah, I can see it's coming from there. I think it's not coming from the mic. Shit. I did change a bunch of stuff. I did get stressed about my sound issues for a little bit. But yeah, something is wrong. That's for sure. Audio. Digital audio interface. So it's supposed to be this. It's supposed to be this. There is no noise cancellation. Bro. Okay. Oh yeah. I can hear it. It's not echoing go. So this is okay now, but it's coming from not from this mic, I think. I think it's coming from. There is no noise cancellation. There is. There is noise suppression. Okay, I'll add noise gate as well. And then, how about now? Echo back. I know, because it's now coming from a mic. Fuck, I did something bad. Something is shitty. No echo, we hear you fine. But it's not coming from a mic, is it? It's coming from a camera or something like that. All right, it is what it is. Well, mouse click. It's just gonna have to do, I guess, I suppose. Fuck. This is what happens when I get stressed about sound. I change it again, and then everything gets fucked up. Thank you, Chip. I think you're lying to me. Anyways, let's see. Let's try this. So, first of all, what are we doing? We are watching today the 2024 International Summit, the societal role of meat and livestock. So it's like the Animal Abuser Convention, the Animal Propaganda Convention, right? What the scientific evidence says. That's interesting. And there are quite a few speakers here. And we're gonna try to see if we can watch a few of them. It's probably gonna be limited to only today because I don't want my channel to be copyright struck. And so, I don't know, we'll see what happens. So can we open this? More options, nope, okay. I probably should skip the bloody music. Oh, the love of God.
Farming for Future Foundation.
Yeah.
In Rome.
Oh, Jesus Christ. We can't use any of that because the music is definitely going to be copyrighted. Copywritten.
What I should
Copy
be
shat.
eating in order to stay healthy. Why are they so interested in telling me what I should be eating?
Oh, I don't know, because for instance, organizations that are responsible for the health of humans, they're just quirky that way. They care about the health of humans. It's just this quirkiness that those organizations have. So that's why they tell you what to eat, sort of. They give you a guide and then you can do whatever the fuck you want.
So I decided to cut through the noise and go look for what science actually has to say about healthy food, looking for facts and evidence. And this journey led me to Professor Frederick Leroy, a food scientist.
Facts and evidence, and it led you to the propagandist. Interesting.
From Brussels University.
That music is definitely going to be fucking copyrighted.
I'm confused and I really don't know what I should do. And I'm looking for some science-based...
Just fucking read the guidelines that the leading scientists set down
and created for people to follow. Just do that. Don't be confused.
Answers and
The video is not loud enough. Well, it's fucking great. There you go. Now it's going to be loud enough.
really hope you can help me with that.
We're really doing
That's
it
right,
today.
Diana. We're facing what I call the modern diet paradox.
Modern diet paradox. Put one in the chat if you know what it's going to be. I have an idea. I think the mic is not needed at this point, but I'm just going to keep it around because it gives me comfort.
On the one hand, there's more dietary advice than ever. And on the other hand, we see that diet-related chronic disease is on the rise.
Ecological associations. So ones that can't actually give us any health outcomes. You didn't understand here. The CCs are on, so I hope that would make it easier. Hey, what's up, Pia? By the way, hello everybody. We are struggling today. We're struggling, but it's gonna be fine. So can I make it louder? Probably. If you really want it to be louder, I can probably make it louder. Give me a sec. We're struggling productively, are we? No, the speakers are fine. So what I can do is I can increase it from here. There is a little plugin that I have. And there you go. Now.
Processing essentially is a
How's
good
that?
thing, but ultra-processed foods.
Wait. So the paradox, according to Frederick Leroy, a scientist, is that the food guidelines are saying a thing that they think is causal to the that Leroy thinks or claims is causal to disease being on the rise. First of all, what's the evidence for disease being on the rise and which disease, right? So it could be that a disease is on the rise, and that disease is multifactorial. So a lot of factors can cause that disease. Maybe one of those factors is food, maybe no. And maybe food is one of the causes that disease is on the rise, maybe no. But also actual food diseases, some of them at least, are on a decline. Like cardiovascular disease is not on the rise. It's on a decline. That's because statins are prevalent. Statins save lives. A bunch of other medications, right? So maybe mortality from diabetes is on a decline because metformin was invented. It's one of those things that is so much stuff going on that making the claim the food guide says one thing, the food guide says a thing, right? But then the disease is on the rise. It's also it's disregarding so many things. One of those things, another thing that I can mention, for instance, is that the disease that comes from food, usually, right? It's not acute, it's chronic and late onset, right? So decades of eating in the same way is how you get some of the food diseases, right? Cardiovascular disease takes decades to actually show signs of disease, of acute disease. Whereas, something I don't know, poisoning or allergy, that shows immediately, right? So it could be that the former food guides weren't great, and the people are now, it's catching up to them. So the disease is prevalent. That just assumes even that people follow the food guide, right? Where we know that they don't. So it's one of those spaces where somebody's making a claim and their evidence for that claim just doesn't necessarily lead to the conclusion that they want. It's just like something that you need to go through and see what other hypotheses are there. It could be that Frederick Leroy's hypothesis is correct. But we just like know too much about it. I just like named like 3 or 4 things that just like stand in the way of his hypothesis being correct. So it's kind of weird.
Chronic disease is on the rise. Processing essentially is a good thing, but ultra-processed foods, they're entirely different types of food that are completely alien to our biology. We like them.
What the fuck do you mean by completely alien to our biology, and why does that mean that they're bad? Something can be like absolutely new and novel. By the way, is the sound too much? It's clipping for me. I'm gonna reduce it anyways a little bit so that I don't blow your ears off. Put 1 in the chat if the sound is like generally okay. Like, I don't know. It sucks, I know, but generally. So
A lot. We eat them a lot. They create all sorts of brain effects and effects in our gut.
I mean, maybe, but what's the evidence for that?
Meat is also the food that made us human in a way.
So, like, even if true, so what? This claim is usually just a standalone claim that is supposed to like give us feelings about it, right? But a bit of echo still. Jesus Christ, bro. Something's gone terribly wrong. So I'm sorry about that, David. It's one of those claims that just like stand alone. Meat made us human. What's the evidence for that? That it's like meat is an ingredient and not like the other hypotheses that exist, that it's like the abundance of calories, abundance of like specific nutrients or something like that, right? The claim assumes that if we stop eating meat, it will somehow dehumanize us, right? This is what the effect that it's supposed to have on our feelings, on our feels, right? Oh no, if I stop eating meat, I'm not gonna be my fucking species anymore, I think. And the second one is like, okay, like, let's assume that it's true. It's gonna make us not human anymore. Why is that more important than like the health outcomes, our health outcomes? And that would include like all the things that I'm gonna gibberate about in a second, like brain power and I don't know, virility and whatever the fuck, right? So I'm just like, it's just like a bunch of claims that tells a story, a known story, that most people can kind of like understand because it was told so many times, right? And because we can easily make assumptions about. You're lying there wondering why you're not asleep? What? Shit. Refresh. I don't know what that means. Oh, hey, what's up, Carrie? How are you doing? Haven't seen you in a while. Okay.
Changed our bodies, it changed our metabolism.
It changed our bodies, it changed our metabolism. And
we've adapted to it.
First of all, this is crazy, right? Because we know like a lot of our like ancestor groups weren't necessarily relying on meat, right? There is not one ancestral diet. That shit doesn't exist. But they're like showing this thing where a humanoid becomes a human being, right? Slowly but surely. And the narrative is like, don't lose this shit. Be scared. Do not abandon meat.
That doesn't mean that we should base our diets fundamentally on meat. There are many
It's not a carnivore diet. All right.
other options that are available in this.
It means that every individual can choose according to their taste, to their desires.
I thought we were talking about health. Why is taste and desires all of a sudden in the picture? This is like one of those things that, wait, you just changed the subject and didn't tell us about it, right?
To their culture?
Absolutely. So the whole point is that individuals can align their dietary compositions with their own personal and biological and also cultural and regional preferences and needs.
Well, here's the thing, right? If a Chinese person moves away from a Chinese diet and into another, not very similar, but like also like, I don't know, healthy-ish diet, are they going to be like going against their biology or something like that? Like if a Chinese person, like like from like previous centuries or something like that, who like ate tofu, drank soy milk and all that stuff, all of a sudden moves to, I don't know, like Ukraine, right? And all the things that were available there are like not available anymore, and they start eating like mostly like potatoes, like wheat, cooked wheat, like lots of bread, good one, sourdough bread kind of stuff. Are they going to be going against their biology? I'm not understanding. It's just like so vague. What's the name of that rule that that the like the fortune readers use, or not the fortune, but like the astrologists use, where you say something so general that kind of gives us like an understanding, like some kind of information, some kind of a picture in our mind that seems relatable, but it's like an absolutely fucking meaningless thing to say that just falls apart from like even a little bit of scrutiny. Confirmation bias, well, it's one of the things, but there is like a rule about it, something, it's not Brentolini's law, it's Bantham something, I think, Bantham something, right, where like Barnum, thank you, appreciate you, Neil. So it's the Barnum effect, right? I can say it's something incredibly general, and it's going to be like meaningful in a different way to each person, but the words themselves, they're just like absolutely meaningless. And that's what this entire clip is.
And so this means this can work everywhere and for everyone?
I'm definitely going to be demonetized, but that's okay.
That's right.
Maybe you're looking for science and answers, but I found so much more.
I mean, you found a propagandist, so that's nice for you. Journey since Dublin. So Dublin is, just to remind you guys, is this thing. They're referencing this, the Dublin Declaration, where they this was the first anti-EAT-Lancet propaganda attempt that was created by Frederick Leroy. And it's basically like the same meaningless shit, right? And now they're summarizing, well, what happened since. Let me see if we want to, definitely want to see some of this. It's going to be music, I'm going to bail.
We published 2 articles on the topic of nutrition, one on the nutrient density of meat and the evolution.
I mean, nutrient density of meat is like not great. If we go to my site, right, and we try to zoom in, so there are several meats, right, but like poultry meat is right there. Bovine meat is somewhere slightly higher right there. And then you have like mutton and goat meat. That's nutrient density, right? And like fucking lemons and limes are more nutrient dense than animal products. I think what they mean is like calorie dense with some nutrients in it or something like that, right? Like, okay, you have like aquatic meat right there, and then beans just hanging out right there, and meats are right on top of that. And then you have like vegetables that are more nutrient dense than meat other, whatever the fuck that means. And you have like groundnuts. And yeah, to be fair, like if you want to eat the innards of animals, then you're gonna have like the most nutrient dense thing. If you want to eat offal, what a name, then yeah, you're gonna get the most nutrition from that. That's not how most people interact with meat. They eat like steaks and chicken thighs and all that shit.
Context, and another one on the link between high meat intake and chronic disease, and the certainty
it's going to be all like population bullshit in it.
Of evidence underpinning this. Now,
So here's Frederick Leroy, right? He wrote this stuff, and now he's showing it to a room full of people whose job it's going to become, or whose job it already is, to like spread this shit, spread this propaganda.
the outcome of that deliberation was that basically there is no strong foundation to say that meat is intrinsically harmful.
So this is sowing the doubt. There is no strong foundation, they say, he says. While you know, showing two studies that he wrote, right?
As long as it's, and it's an important caveat,
Like, there's no strong foundation, mate. This doesn't talk about all animal products, but generally speaking, the thing that brings LDL into our body, that increases the levels of it, is going to be animal products. And here we have like is close to scientific consensus as one can get, that LDL increases the risks of overall mortality and of atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease. No, none, except for all the other stuff.
as long as it's part of a healthy, well-formulated background.
Isn't the harm linked to the amount and type? Obviously, everything is dose responsive, right? So if you drink, I don't know, 2 liters of liquids per day, water, let's say, fantastic stuff. If you drink 10, you're gonna fuck up your body in a measurable, like in a way that is like, well, it's gonna land you in a hospital and possibly death, right? If you ingest a little bit of cyanide under the dangerous dose, nothing's gonna happen to you. In fact, like your body and a bunch of plant foods produce a little bit of cyanide. It's fine, unless it reaches the measurable, the dose that is correlated with actual harm, right? So anywhere under 100 grams, I think, per day, even of red meat, under that might not be associated with some of the diseases, and over it, it's associated, it increases the risks of all of the diseases. So yes, you can have like a bite of red meat every single day, or like a steak once a month or twice a month even, and not get in the increased risks of those diseases. So you're absolutely correct, Pia.
Around diet.
As for type of disease, yeah. Or type of meat, yeah. Generally speaking, it's maybe uncomfortable to hear, but fish meat, generally speaking, is health promoting. So yeah.
And it also indicated that, yes, we can take out meat from the diet and you can still be healthy.
Yep. So why wouldn't we do that? Why wouldn't we do that?
Provided that, again, you're formulating your diet appropriately.
Yep. I should get fucking sponsored already. Yes! Formulate your fucking diet. And you're gonna be fine. And stop paying for slaughter of animals. Thank you, Frederick Leroy. Jesus.
And the more restrictive you're going to make your diet by taking out
Well, you don't have to make it restrictive. Us vegans know the best. That once we removed the animal products from a diet actually sometimes, if we try, becomes richer. It includes more food, all types of food, not less.
nutrient-dense foods, the less robust it may become.
Maybe. I think I can formulate a fantastic diet with maybe 10 foods and like one supplement, like a B12, maybe B12 and D. So 2 supplements, B12 and D. And maybe I don't even have to, right? If I include like a fortified food into it. So you probably can hear all the shit outside. Holy fuck. So sorry about that. Bro. I'm gonna solve it. I'm gonna solve it by next week.
Now, today we're going to expand that conversation. We're going.
It's like such an unintelligent thing to say. Oh, if you're gonna restrict your diet, it's gonna become harder. Well, depends how. You can restrict it to 10 foods, plant foods, and 2 supplements. It's probably gonna be fine. I can probably find the 10 foods that you can eat. It's gonna give you everything. Let me start. Tofu. It's gonna be one of them. And if you eat like 300 to 400 grams of that a day, you covered most of the shit. And then you become like nitpicky, right? You become like, oh, like it doesn't cover much of vitamin E. So the echo's back for some reason. Jesus Christ. Guys, I'm gonna make this live stream short, I guess, because of this. Because I don't know why there would be echo. I don't know. Give me a sec. So on mic, maybe if I turn off all the filters, except for noise suppression. How does this sound? How does this sound? Was good until now. I wasn't touching anything. I'm so sorry. I wasn't. But tell me how this feels. How this sounds. Hey, what's up, Nilf? Didn't hear anything. What was going on outside your place? Oh, okay. I disable cam mic in Windows. I don't know how to do that. I went to sound settings. And there is like only one microphone in, and that's the... Wait, maybe this is the problem. Audio. I'm scared if I'm gonna change this. Give me a sec. Let me see. Speaker. I don't know how to disable those things. Let me just like turn it off. How does that sound? Put one in the chat if good. And I'm gonna do the same for this, I guess. I turned that off. I have to leave in 5 minutes. Oh, I'm sorry about that. 2 is not good. Did anything good happen? I did turn off a bunch of stuff. So, I have no idea where it's coming from. I have no fucking idea. Furniture isn't vegan, get the fuck out, race liver. Slightly better, okay, well, let's take that. All right, I was somewhere. Let me just turn all this, I think that didn't help. So let me just turn this off. I don't know what to do.
To zoom out from red meat as such and look at the larger group of animal source foods. You can also see it in the title of the summit. It's no longer the societal role of meat, it's the societal role of meat and livestock.
Food security at risk, the consequences of limiting animal source food. What the fuck does that mean? Just stop feeding them human food. And bada boom, stop breeding animals and stop feeding them human food. And there you go, food security, instant. Not instant, still gradual, right? Still, it's gonna take a little bit of time until the animals die naturally or something like that, right? In the vegan utopia kind of situation, right? Where we like actually take care of the animals that were already bred into existence. But it's like, if you want food security, just go become like, we just should be fucking vegan. Should be like at the least plant-based, right? Because look how much food we feed to the animals. 43% of crops. Food security. Those clowns, Jesus. A framework for adequate nourishment, balancing nutrient density and food processing levels within the context of culturally and regionally appropriate diets. Why does that matter? Why does that matter?
And we're going to ask two questions. The first question is, what would happen if we dramatically reduce the intake of animal source foods at population?
We would be in fantastic fucking shape, not only health-wise, but environment-wise, and obviously animal-wise. Animals are gonna be fucking happy, fucking ecstatic. They're not gonna be bull-gunned in the head anymore. Holy fuck, food security.
Level. What are the food security risks? Now, we also have a talk tomorrow on this topic by Craig Gunderson, but it will also be addressed in the course
another fucking plonker
of this morning. And then the second one is, how does that conversation relate to the dietary recommendations and the dietary guidelines? And then is there any potential for improvement?
No, don't touch the fucking dietary guidelines. They are the best they've ever been, both science-wise and animal-wise. And obviously fucking environment-wise. Which is why you're here, because EAT-Lancet threatens your fucking money by telling you it's not environmentally or health-wise feasible to continue doing what you do. And by the way, EAT-Lancet, I'm gonna keep screaming it, is not a fucking vegan source of information. They literally don't even talk about animals, which is what veganism is.
The first point I want to clarify.
Oh, Jesus. Look at the amount of bullshit. Nourishing meat. This is gross. It's just fucking gross. Let me increase that maybe a little bit. So you can see a little better. By the way, in the past, I'm recording this on the horizontal, and that's going to be available for people to watch after the stream.
Here.
And I'm going to be watching that horrified about my sound.
And of course, this is largely based on my own opinions. Feel free to disagree wherever you want.
Yes, I disagree. Shut up.
Want to. But we shouldn't forget that dietary recommendations are also a societal and historical construct.
Bullshit. That's That's why dietary guidelines kind of look the same in all countries right now, right? I mean, he's correct to a degree, because in the end, the dietary guidelines must consider the culture as well. But generally speaking, right, if you don't just look at like food as food components, right, if you look at nutrition, the dietary guidelines are going to be, if they're science-based, they're going to be the same across the board.
One thing is the evidence, and
My fucking thing is definitely going to get yeeted. This stream, watch it while you can. It's going to get yeeted. It's going to get copyright struck or something.
that's certainly a large part of it. But then there's also the fact that those recommendations have also been shaped by opinions and beliefs over decades. And essentially that process started in the mid-19th century with a very interesting mix of religious ideas, new theories about scientific management, the idea
That's what you're going to claim, that plant-based dieting and veganism is like religion-based.
ideals of the progressive era, and all that crystallized
Oh no, not progressive. Oh no. They're coming for a culture.
in the emerging discipline of household economics and dietetics. Then we had two world wars with their own specific impact.
Yeah, bro, actually, I feel you. I would struggle to say that as well with my heavy accent.
We had the 1960s and the 1970s with the environmental debates. We had the economic crisis in the early 1970s, which resulted in the first food pyramid in Sweden, which was constructed based more on a economic rationale than a biological one. It had to do with how people can best spend their money on foods given the budgetary restrictions and the limit.
Well, that's not necessarily what's happening now, although it's probably one of the considerations still, obviously, because food is still not approachable to everybody. But it's like he's using like only one part of the considerations, as if that's the whole thing. That's how you build a narrative. That's how you do it. Oh, Jeff, why? Why the fuck would you eat meat? You gross person. Why would you do that? You want to come and have a conversation? Because the stream is not great anyways. Friedrich Leroy is kind of boring, and I agree with him on a little stuff. Come, have a conversation with me, Jeff. Engage brain before posting. Yes. Fuck, why is the plugin is not working? To be fair. There you go. Now it's gonna work. Jeff, come talk to me.
It's availability.
Come have a conversation with me about meat.
That then eventually was transformed into the food pyramid as we know it, with a very strong emphasis on chronic disease.
Bro, it was always also science-based. He's lying. He's like giving you one of the parameters that the committee is considering, as if that's the thing. As if that's what's supposed to be like the main concern of the people who are creating this guideline. And it's not. Health is the main concern. And it's incredibly science-based in the past couple of years. 5 or so isn't blocked, yeah.
It continued until today, where we have such things as the planetary health diet from the EAT-Lancet.
Yes, the EAT-Lancet, the evidence-based planetary and human health diet.
Lancet Commission. Now, because there are several factors here that are of importance and that are...
Oh, you just mentioned one, sweetie. Why are you mentioning just the one thing?
outside of the scientific methods.
Maybe you blocked them, Neil. Maybe they're like a recurrent person.
It may come with certain dangers, certain pitfalls.
I mean, I'll show you. Jeff is right there. Damn. The plugin actually isn't working. There you go. Oh, hold on. It's working on the horizontal, but not on a vertical. I don't know why, but it's definitely there. I saw it as well. Maybe you blocked them already.
Certain things to pay attention to. And one of the problems you have if you formulate recommendations that are too universal, you may overlook a large part of the complexity.
What's the complexity? I mean, I guess the complexity is like, will people actually interact with the food, with the guidelines? And the answer is no.
Everybody is unique. Everybody is different.
Bro, we're not that unique that you need meat and I don't. We're not that unique. We're still all Homo sapiens.
We all have different nutrient requirements, different metabolic responses.
No, we don't all have different nutrient requirements unless something is wrong. Unless we like our absorption is really fucked. You can generalize most of those things. And of course, like if a person like literally shows like signs of something is wrong, right? And it's like connected to the diet somehow. Yeah, obviously things can be tweaked based on that. Frankly, that's why I take the multi-supplement. Very little tweaking needed. I just eat food, delicious food, healthy food for the most part. Sometimes. And I take a multi-supplement to reach like 200% of most RDAs. And Bob's your uncle.
Different hormone responses, different gut microbiota.
We don't have different hormone responses. And we do have different microbiota. But microbiota changes all the goddamn time. For instance, if you take antibiotics, your microbiota is going to be wiped out. And you start anew. Like a baby.
And all that may play in the way people respond to a given diet.
Well, almost none of those things are actually true, Frederick. So.
And if we're going to universalize that too much, well, we risk undermining.
Well, what are they doing though, right? They're like providing guidelines. And then you can, like, within those guidelines, there's still a huge amount of variation. They tell you, like, on the food pyramid, let's get to it, well, on the food plate, actually, because food pyramid haven't been existing for a long time, right? But they give you fruits. What fruits you eat, that's fucking up to you. I hate guava. It smells like absolute ass to me. I'm not gonna include guava in my diet. I don't know, if I don't like how citruses, I don't know, maybe they give me reflux or something like that, right? I'm thinking about actual like variations between us. Hey, hello, vegan stone lady. How you doing? You finally caught me? Well, I'm here every week. What are you doing? Joking. So, by the way, if you're not subscribed to Anna yet, what the fuck are you doing? Go subscribe to her. Not go. Run! Sleeping, actually. Yeah, okay. Fair. Sleeping is good. So, they give you fruit, grains, vegetable, protein, right? I'm talking about this little plate. And then they give you dairy. Because, guys, you know, dairy is relatively beneficial to health in some aspects. Thank you, Tone. So, you know, if they are going science-based, then they are not ethics-based. They're going to tell you to drink dairy. Right? They're not telling you wheat here, because that would be silly, because some people are gluten intolerant, right? So have celiac disease. So they would eat a grain that isn't that, right? Or again, if somebody has like an allergy to kiwi, I have like to a low degree, then you're not gonna eat kiwi in your fruit section. You're gonna eat the 10,000 other fruits that are available to you. Well, maybe like 20 that are available to you in your region, right? So what Frederick says is just like incorrect, right? They're not giving you something that is so contrived that that you're not going to be able to like adopt it to your culture, your region, your like personal issues, right?
Universalize that too much, well, we risk undermining the body's ability to self-select the foods dictated.
I mean, it's just like stupid. And what he's showing, that's not the EAT-Lancet diet. That's like, that looks like, first of all, there are 34 items on the thing right now, on the screen. If out of those 34, 10 are not viable to you, then eat the other 24, right? Put one in the chat if generally your diet includes more than 24 fucking things that you like generally consistently buying. Mine sure as fuck doesn't. Don't let the body self-select the food, yeah. What happens? Who's spamming again? It's blue link to, like, it's not blue, but I can click it. Maybe you can't click it on the phone, Race Liver, but I can click it. Whoops. Give me a sec. It's clickable to me, so it's kind of weird. I don't know, the tone, it's okay. I can deal with the spammers if you just want to watch and listen. Don't worry about it.
By the internal systems. I want to refer to a classic study, a legendary study from the late 1930s, overseen.
Why are you showing this? The EAT-Lancet came out in 2021, I think. Was it? I've read it only 10,000 times. When did the EAT-Lancet, the first one, come out? Oh, I remember it was 17th of February, something. Damn. 2019. Why the fuck are you talking about something from the 1930s?
Where she
No, 2019.
was in charge of a group of children, young children from deprived backgrounds. And those children were exposed to a list of diverse foods. You can see the list over there. It has some interesting ingredients: beef, lamb, sweetbreads, brains, but also bananas, apples, peaches, you name it. And those children were allowed to pick their own foods according to
Who do you guess of the children chose brain?
their own tastes and managed to find appropriate dietary solutions. Some of those selections were rather interesting, and I quote, "There would be a dietitian's nightmare."
Well, you admit then that if given, like, I don't know, if allowing for, like, I don't know, 35 foods, people can self-select 24, and they're going to be fine.
But yet all those children thrived, to the amazement of the medical doctors that were overlooking this process. So what I want to say with this is that there are multiple valid options to adopt a nourishing diet.
Well, it depends how you nourishing, sure, but why are you like ignoring the blatant health outcomes from like foods like meat, including in childhood, right? The Polish study clearly shows that in omnivorous children, cardiovascular disease starts in childhood. So it's like changing the subject, it's moving the goalpost. You can have a nourishing diet that also promotes health and like saves, saves the detriment to the environment, which just like eliminates at least partially the detriment to the environment, and you're going to be fine. Why is this plate like this? You think sausages are healthy, Leroy?
And some
rather?
of them, yes, will conflict with the standard guidelines that we often are faced with. Even if you would look at the Southern European region, which is often promoted as the ideal for worldwide eating, you find things like the Southern European Atlantic diet, which is quite different from the standard Mediterranean diet. It is found.
Guys, I trust Tone to make the right decisions on whom to do what with. And I trust the other viewers. If they want to block somebody and they don't want to have a conversation with them, they can do that. It's fine. People don't have to sacrifice themselves for the claim that it may be somehow detrimental to veganism. What's the evidence for that?
In Portugal, it's found in the northwest of Spain, and it includes substantial amounts of processed meats. And yet it is associated with protective effects. So the question I really have to ask is, to which degree can we rely on what are often Western-centric dietary approaches if we're going to make it a universal model?
Again, you don't have to. It's not like, did EAT-Lancet actually like provide the list of foods? I don't know, we haven't read it. We're going to start reading it next week. But did they like just provide like a list of foods? No, they probably provided categories. Within the protein category, have a little bit of meat, have a little bit of cheese, have a little bit of, or quite a lot of fish probably, and have like grains, legumes, beans, and like the tofus of the world, right? They probably like provide categories, and within those categories, you can choose like a food. That's it. Like if I was building a guideline, that's how I would go about it, right? And then you can choose like 3 from the protein section, 3 things from the carb section, 3 things from the healthy fat section, and formulate a diet for yourself. And, you know, you can like reliably, especially if people supplement, you can reliably say if you choose like a couple of foods from each one of those categories, your food is probably going to be pretty complementary, especially if you take a multivitamin. I'm nobody, and I can probably write a guideline like that for a plant-based diet, just because, like, from personal experience.
And I will show you one of the most absurd examples. I often show this one, and it's an exaggerated one, and it shouldn't be generalized as
yeah, no shit. Then why the fuck are you doing it?
As the main problem, but it just illustrates where exactly it can go wrong. So this is a dietary model that was proposed for the northern Canadian region of Nunavik, where basically those people have been exposed to Western diets, have developed metabolic syndrome, and all the...
Sorry, what's the evidence for the link for metabolic syndrome from, like, the guideline specifically? Were they following the guideline? Or did they just have, like, all of a sudden influx of, shelf-stable foods like chips? Yeah, guys, why are we fighting about this? Trust Tone with this stuff, please.
pathologies that come with that.
Sorry, what's the evidence for that, Frederick Leroy, that it comes from the food guideline and not from like the influx of junk food that flew into the area?
And
also, what's the evidence that those are healthy people on their traditional diet?
are told that they're eating the wrong way.
Or rather, what's the evidence that those people are healthy when following the traditional diet of blubber and shit?
So the government steps in and tries to correct it by proposing a model that is essentially the Mediterranean diet, as it has been designed in Boston, and is, however, shaped and formulated as a traditional one by giving it the aspect of an igloo rather than a food pyramid.
Bro, I mean, none of us know why they did this, right? Like, what's the decision-making was behind creating it like that, right? But generally speaking, right? It looks like a pretty good dietary pattern. Lean more on fruits and veg. And they probably didn't do this while also not providing the fruit and veg, right? Because that would be incredibly cruel and stupid. But what's wrong with this? Like, health-wise, right? There are a lot of wrong things when it comes to animal ethics.
It is rather absurd.
But also, this is like, it's been years since this happened, probably, right? Nunavik Food Guide. So let's see when this happened. This Nunavik Food Guide, when was this released? When was this released? Bro. Anybody see a date? Oh. I am gonna cut this short today, because the mic thing is annoying me. When was this released? I'm just looking for a fucking date. Bro. Let me just take it there. To mute it. This was 6 years ago. They were talking about this thing, whatever this is. Water and milk. I mean, it could be like the case that they just fucked up, right? It could be, right? That like the food that they put in the food guide just wasn't like fucking available or something, right? It could be that they just fucked up. But then using this to like discredit the EAT-Lancet diet, why?
But you will find a basis of fruits and vegetables, watermelons, bananas, grapes, grains.
Well, those things could probably, grains is the easiest thing to send, to import, because it's dry. The other stuff you can freeze dry as well. Dehydrate.
Milk, which has been alien to their culture as well. And then you have the actual ancestral diet that you'll find on top of the igloo. Meat, fish, and also note alternatives. So the fact that it's also has the pretense to be adapted to the cultural connotations is in a way rather insulting.
I mean, what's the problem with that? Fuck me, it's insulting. Holy fuck. Frederick Leroy, the cultural warrior.
But it's also wrong.
Why?
And a similar argument...
Oh no, let's move on. Let's not say why it's wrong. Let's not explain why it's wrong. Let's just fucking move on. Jesus.
It's been made by a group of anthropologists who have criticized the EAT-Lancet Commission for overly relying on the notion of healthy diets.
What the fuck do anthropologists know about diets? Or like healthful diet, or like ecological diets, which is what EAT-Lancet was commissioned for, to find an ecologically sustainable, human health promoting diet.
So they say...
No, I'm fine, race level.
Repeating...
It's called being on YouTube.
This concept of healthy diets about 100 times in your document. But at the same time, you're also defining the problem as one of individual behavior and education.
What the fuck do anthropologists have to say about the EAT-Lancet Commission that we need to hear? What the fuck do they know about this? More than the people who are assigned, who are the experts in the field, who are assigned with this thing to create. Bro.
So by doing so, you're kind of overlooking the complexities of true nourishment and what true
The fuck they did? We're gonna read the EAT-Lancet. My intuition is the fuck they did.
nourishment means. And that's,
He's
I think,
not
a very
even saying anything specific. Come on, Frederick Leroy. Say that meat heals or something. Come on. I know you want to. Just say it. Say it. Meat heals.
important point if we talk about dietary guidance of specific populations. The EAT-Lancet diet also brings me to this here. This is a rather famous
Is this like a racist thing?
claim of Professor Ioannidis from Stanford, equating the EAT-Lancet diet's health claims, at least its health claims, with science fiction. That's, of course,
That's great that some dude said this. What's the evidence for it?
it's a very strong statement. Certainly not everybody will agree with
Then why the fuck are you showing it? What does this... This is obfuscation, one-on-one. This dude said something, so I'm showing it.
it, but it brings us to the point that we also have to take into account the
Hey, Alicia.
certainty of the evidence whenever we're trying to formulate dietary guidance. And Ioannidis is certain.
Well, bro, you are not responsible for the dietary guidelines. Well, you might be in the 2025 if you like move to the US or something. But here's the thing: people who are assigned to it are not you. There's a reason for it, probably.
Certainly not the only voice in that space coming up with such.
You have a friend who was senior editor at the EAT-Lancet. That's cool. After I read it, maybe ask your friend if he wants to come and have a conversation with us about it, because I haven't read it yet, so I don't know how to, wouldn't know how to interview him. I'm sorry, I don't know. Of them. Keep forgetting my own fucking identity. But I would love Alicia ask him, or her, or them. Why am I so confused today?
Commentary.
Must be B24 deficiency.
Some scientists have made the point that when you don't have adequate evidence in place, well, the best option may as well be not to issue any guideline. And that
Who told you that there are no evidence? The evidence are plentiful.
point was specifically made for the case of dietary fat. And in retrospect, we see we can also better now evaluate all of the associated problems. Now, the GREAT framework is one of the gold standard method in place for evidence-based claims in the health space. And the GREAT framework has indicated that in the nutritional domain, the certainty of evidence is usually either of very low to low certainty. In some cases,
What's the evidence for that? There are certainly like causal even inferences, right? Like, for instance, processed meat is classified as causal to certain cancers. So I wouldn't say that's a low inference. That's about as close to objective truth as you can get when the scientific papers say it's causal, right?
you may have moderate certainty, but usually it is rather uncertain material you're starting with.
You say so.
So, and that's an important point. So GREAT is saying that
He's teaching people how to obfuscate. This is, let's not forget, this is to a room full of people who are then going to go on their personal accounts and gibberate this shit. Just give us this.
when the evidence is weak,
Show us in what way is the evidence weak.
we should refrain from formulating very strong.
This is like, yeah, it's like, just like, he can't make claims about the animal products themselves, right? Oh, he can actually. You can say that dairy is like protective from colorectal cancer. You can say that, but he can't, because then he commits to actually adhering to science, the scientific method. So he just obfuscates. He just says, well, maybe this is wrong from this angle. Maybe this is wrong from this angle, right? But he doesn't speak in a maybe language. He speaks in a certain language. By that, I mean he projects certainty.
Strong conclusions, very strong recommendations at population level. We should rather take it down to the individual and have negotiations between the individual and the health practitioner, based also on the values and preferences of that individual.
How the fuck do you know what happens in an individual if you don't have like the guidelines, right? Or like the idea if the person even follows the guidelines, right? How the fuck do you know? Are you going to take down all of that diet and then just go, oh, what? How do you judge something if you just said that the nutrition science is uncertain? Then what the fuck do you do? Just guess? When a person comes into a dietitian's office because they have like an issue, do they just fucking guess? I don't know. Oh, bro. I'm just like literally talking from a different mic from what it shows. Bro.
So given those additional problems that are accumulating in the course of the development of
This is bullshit. This is exactly it. This is bullshit. Even if true, right? I'm like assuming that this graph is 100% correct and that's how it happened, right? If the dietary guidelines were launched at that point, the claim that it immediately increased disease is nonsensical. Because unless you have like acute reactions to certain things, dietary guidelines take decades to make a change if they are followed. What's the evidence that the dietary guidelines are followed by the same populations that getting sicker and sicker? So I think Matthew Nagra said in one of his videos lately that what happens, right? The dietary guidelines, they're not just like guidelines for people in the general population. They are like actual guidelines for certain places, so like school lunches. That's why there is for instance, like one of the reasons, obviously, and like for like hospitals and other institutions, for like jails. So like a bunch of people will have the dietary guidelines directly applied to them, right? Maybe not. Right, it's like, I don't know what's happening in the US right now. But like, maybe there should be a separation. People who are forced to follow the dietary guidelines should be compared to people who are unlikely to follow that, which is like the general population, the free people, the people who are just like walking around outside, seeing donuts and shit. Right, and interacting with donuts and shit like that. I don't know why I'm feeling this. This is not what's creating the sound. So, but even if everybody followed the guidelines, this just like immediate increase is unrealistic. It's a fantasy. Unless the dietary guidelines were 100% followed and just included the most allergenic foods or something like that, right? And then you would probably see like acute reactions, but that wouldn't be disease.
dietary recommendation.
By the way, source CDC data. That just means that Frederick Leroy was the one who created this graph. He just like extracted a bunch of like unrelated bits and put them together.
Should we be surprised that they haven't been all that successful?
Oh, and the fucking, oh my God. I don't know if you guys can see that, but the credit down there is to Twitter and Big Fat Surprise, which is the handle of Nina Teicholz. So this dude took the, holy fuck, he took the graph from Nina Teicholz, a journalist, a meat-shill, basically, right? And put it in his presentation as if it was credible. That's fucking crazy. Why does anyone ask me that? Oh, yikes, indeed.
This is a slide or an image that I've stolen from Nina's timeline.
Oh, he says it. He says it. And we're supposed to now not laugh in your face, Frederick Leroy? We're supposed to take you seriously still?
It shows you the introduction of the dietary guidelines for Americans in the 1980s, and the fact that the percentage of overweight and obese people over the years has just accumulated. So I don't...
Oh, this is even not a disease, this is like obesity. Yeah, obesity, I guess, takes a couple of years to reach. Overweight could be probably a couple of years as well. So, at the least, the graph should have started somewhere in the middle. So now we know that it's like bullshit.
To imply that the dietary guidelines are causing this, no.
Right, nobody goes from normal weight to overweight unless they were like on the cusp, right, of overweight, and then they can go there in a couple of months to obese immediately. Nobody does that. That's impossible. That's like one-on-one trophic levels, or like the law of thermodynamics, I guess. That would be the right thing to say, VPM.
Correlation and causation and all of that. But at least it comes across...
Yeah, correlation and causation, sweetie. Correlation and causation. And this graph is impossible. And Nina Teicholz is a fucking idiot. Who the fuck does she know about nutrition?
As a failed policy. It hasn't worked. Something hasn't worked.
Oh, he's like, oh, correlation, not causation. But it hasn't worked, right? He's like so certain about it. Why am I still moving that mic around? I don't know. We're going to end soon, guys. I just want to finish this Leroy presentation, then I'm going to disperse.
The question is, what hasn't worked? What is the problem behind this phenomenon? This is a very recent statement coming out of the House of Lords in the UK, saying that between the 90s and today, we had about 700 wide-ranging policies to deal with the problem of obesity in England. But since it has continued to rise. So it doesn't work. And the government now comes out and says, we need a new method. We need a more comprehensive and integrated strategy to deal.
Which government is that? Who said this? House of Lords. Diet and Obesity Committee. 700 wide-ranging policies to tackle obesity in England, but obesity rate have continued to rise. What is this 3 out of 8 thing? Let me find this handle on Twitter, please. Give me a sec. Sorry, guys. You know me. Once I get my thing. Food. Obesity. Who are these people? Oof. I hear some kind of a feedback. Maybe it's the mic interacting with my speaker. Maybe that's the issue. So news information from the House of Lords Committee on Food, Diet and Obesity, produced by staff on behalf of the committee. And let me just look for this tweet. Between 1992 and 2020. Founded. Founded. Oh, it's 3 out of 8. Let's ignore the rest of them. Today we published a report calling the government to make a plan. You can't hear me, so it does come from this mic. I am on the boom mic. I don't know how. Something is weird. I shouldn't have changed the settings. Better, okay. Fuck. I guess I should talk into this shit. But I don't know why would that be, because my... maybe that's the reason on hide. Okay, it's mic aux. I can see it's moving around, but it's like really weird. Let me just see filters for a second. Oh, I know what happened. I put the filters on the wrong fucking thing. Let me just really quickly fix that shit. Let me just copy all of those filters. How can I? Copy. This will take a second, but then everything is gonna be better. And then paste. How's that? Already should be better. I just put it on the wrong mic. That's what happened. I can't choose all of them? Can't. I have to do it one by one. Okay. That sucks. Yeah, we're gonna be troubleshooting in the middle of the fucking thing. And it's gonna sound like absolute shit for a little bit. And already should sound better. Now it should sound absolutely fantastic, frankly. And just... Oh, I could have done copy filters, fuck me. I could have done it easier. I could have, but I didn't. All right. How does that sound? Fuck, put 1 in the chat if that sounds okay. Should be sounding really good. It's fine. It's fine. It's not good tone. It's fine. I just put it on the wrong thing. Great. Perfect. And it clipped a little bit. So I should keep it out of my face a little more. Oh yeah, I forgot, Tone. You're fucking stoic as fuck. Right. Oh, look, there's a plant and a... To fix a broken food system, we can all live healthier lives. And there's a plant and a flex emoji. Oh, I wonder what that means. Obesity and diet-related diseases are a public health emergency. After tobacco, diet-related risks now make the biggest contribution to years of life lost. In economic terms, the annual societal cost of obesity is at least 1 to 2% of UK GDP. And then the thing that Frederick Leroy read out. The food industry faces strong incentive to produce and sell highly profitable and healthy foods. Voluntary efforts to promote healthier food have failed. Mandatory regulations are now needed. And those Frederick Leroy, Where do you think some of those mandatory regulations are going to be going? On reducing the consumption of meat. Less healthy, often highly processed foods are cheap to produce and sell and aggressively marketed. The government should tax food manufacturers for using salt and sugar. I would agree with that. And consider, I would add saturated fat to that, and consider how the revenue can be used to make healthier foods cheaper. And there is a carrot there. There's a carrot. Children living with obesity are 5 times more likely to become adults with obesity. The government should develop an ambitious strategy for maternal and infant nutrition to improve the quality of school food. There are gaping inequalities in unhealthy diets and obesity. The government should enable auto-enrollment for healthy starts and free school meals, and should review the costs and benefits to public health in increasing funding for both schemes. To learn more, press that shit. We're not gonna read the entire thing, but let's cursory read some of the stuff. Red meat. Oh, look at that. I think. Oh, the novel category, bro, should be thrown out. It's imprecise and full of stupid shit. So, similarly, has expressed significant concerns about the health consequences of some foodstuffs in other categories, such as processed meats. Processed red meats, yeah. The novel classification is terrible. I mean, no, it has good things and it has bad things in it, and therefore the bad things should be fixed in the novel classification, because it confuses a whole lot of people and makes them go, ooh, it's unnatural though. Ooh. How can there be a missed call when my phone didn't call? Shitty phone. Let me go look for eggs. Oh, Greg's. Nice. Oh, okay. Unprocessed and minimally processed foods. Unprocessed foods are described as the edible parts of a plant. For example, fruit slips. Oh, this is all based on novel classification. How stupid of the UK government. All from animals such as mussel, offal, eggs and milks. Also fungi, algae, blah, 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 blah. Minimally processed. Oh, bro, this entire thing is like based on a novel classification. That's silly. Why would they use this shit? Novel classification is silly in many places. Fine, unprocessed foods. Okay, they have like the potential to like make your diet better, right? If you eat the unprocessed foods. But for instance, right, like increasing eggs to the point of like 3 eggs a day, for instance. That would give you significant risk increase for future cardiovascular disease. Atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease. But they put like, for instance, to say all ultra-processed foods are... Oh, shit. Right, I know what it's doing. Fuck, I'm gonna have to end this stream soon. Guys, I might need to call that person. So, ultra-processed foods, right? They include stuff like protein powders. What's the evidence that protein powders are unhealthy? What's the evidence for that? Or for instance, like artificial sweeteners. Some people I know understand have like sensitivities to some of them. But generally speaking, what's the evidence that artificial sweeteners are bad for you, especially when replacing sugar? You know, like that's like how nutrition works. You take one thing and you replace it with another, and then you show the differences between those two foods. So I don't know. The novel classification sucks. And it's kind of disappointing to see that the UK government uses the novel classification to write this report. Anyways, so a bit of nuance was missed here, Mr. Leroy. But okay.
With all of this.
That's what 3 out of 8 was. It so confused me at first. Holy shit.
So the questions I really want to raise at this point before we start looking at some of the science, can we develop a model, a framework, albeit conceptual, that is addressing today's priorities in a better way?
How can you write down evidence-based when you're saying that nutritional evidence are like murky or unreliable? Bro, talking out of both sides of your mouth.
That is simple, but not too simple. That is more flexible, more respectful of...
I bet the EAT-Lancet diet is flexible as fuck. I bet it's flexible as fuck. And if not, I'm gonna say that it's fucked up.
Diversity. Sufficiently evidence-based, and of course, effective. Now, this is a very recent attempt to answer that question.
It's a study. It's one study. This is pretty low on the hierarchy of evidence as well. I think it doesn't seem like a literature review or a meta-analysis. It just looks like a bunch of people gobbled together a bunch of biased shit. Eating pattern that is healthiest to human, most natural, associated with maximal health across the life cycle. What the fuck does most natural mean? Reduce non-compliance disease risk, minimal end of pro-life. Is whole food low fat? I wouldn't say that. Plant-based, especially vegan, with the absence of ultra-processed foods. What? Who wrote this shit?
Published...
Bro, chemical vegans should be responsible for food guides.
But on the 18th of October, an unbiased, sustainable, evidence-informed universal food guide, a timely template for national food guide. So it's...
I wouldn't... Oh my god, I wouldn't start a study like that. I want to see if he just fished it out somewhere. I want to see an unbiased... Let me just type it out. An unbiased... Bro. Yeah, I'm gonna have to end soon. Evidence-informed universal food guide. Let's see what's happening here. Let's see the real thing. Although national food guides are designed ostensibly to translate scientific evidence with respect to food dietary patterns, health, and methods to address our aim, we conducted an integrative review. What does that mean, integrative review? Of multiple evidence-informed sources. The language of this thing, I don't like it. And the fact that they came to the conclusion that it should be like something like minimally processed. That's crazy. The Universal Food Guide has served as a template of national food guides in both urgent and timely, given well-documented health harming. I think he just reached out into a thing that they said. Let's just... this is part of introduction, so it's not part of the conclusion. So that already tells us that this was not their conclusion, right? Of the review. It's just such a fucking cherry picker, holy fuck. Oh, the vegan diet is like actually... I wouldn't go for like whole food. Okay, fine. There should be like processed food in there though. Low fat. What does that mean? We need the healthy fats. It depends what they mean by this, right? Vegan, sure. I think, though, in this case, they should be using fucking plant-based or fully plant-based and not vegan, because veganism is not a fucking diet. Rich in fiber, fantastic, up to a certain point, and after that, it's fucked up. Micronutrients, sure. Vitamins and minerals, sure. Beans, peas, and lentils, sure, rich in protein, but also include tofu in the shit. I know tofu is like processed or whatever, but it's like a fantastic food. Health-wise, it's fantastic. Whole grain, nuts, and vegetables and fruit, and with little to no added sugar. Sure, I can sign off on this one. Salt and fat. Well, depends on what fat. Where is the fucking nuance? Particularly in no trans or no saturated fats. Okay. I spoke too soon. I'm sorry, guys. Further evidence from the Moscow Grazing Nutrition Study, blah, blah, blah. The China study, that's a good stuff, by the way. Reports the health benefits of a plant-based nutrition. There you go, you use the plant-based here. Why the fuck are you using vegan there? Okay, I'm getting better. Okay, the Mediterranean diet, that's good. It's just like the language is a little weird. So what's Leroy gonna tell us about it?
Unbiased, evidence-informed, timely. And what they propose is a whole food, low-fat, plant-based, especially vegan.
Yeah, the low-fat thing is weird, and the with the absence of ultra-processed food is also weird, because some ultra-processed foods are fucking health-promoting.
Diet with the absence of ultra-processed foods. So that's an attempt.
Yeah, that was weird to me as well. Okay, I agree with you, Leroy, but you're gonna take it to the fucking just obfuscation, and I was specific about that shit.
The question is this the best attempt? Can we offer an alternative? And before we even start answering that question, I think...
I mean, who are even other people who did this? Are they policymakers? Probably not. Let me see what they wanted to achieve. Although national food guides are designed to translate scientific evidence with respect to food, dietary pattern, and health, with their development has increasingly become a corporate political process as well as a scientific one. But that's not true anymore, though. When was this written? Oh, 2024. That's weird. Because lately, like, okay, the US fucked up, but the Canadian guidelines are pretty good, right? Health-wise, ethics-wise, they're still shit. Or like better, I guess, than them. Our aim was to construct an unbiased, sustainable, evidence-informed universal food guide to serve a template for countries to develop their unique guidelines. Thereby, well, Leroy, they're trying to do what you said. They're trying to do what you said, right? To give guidelines that don't guide towards foods, the guide towards groups, food groups, right? That's what you wanted, Leroy. Keep calling him Leroy. His name is Frederick, and Dr. Leroy or something, or Professor Leroy or something like that. Provide a valid source of health professionals. Okay.
We need to look at a couple of scientific arguments. And to do so, we have here a dream team in place, really, with 3 speakers who are among the most evidence-driven and balanced scientists that I know of in the space of health and nutrition. The first speaker is Andrew Mente from McMaster University of Pure fame. If you don't know the Pure study, you really should, and this will be your moment to get acquainted to it. Professor Laura Iannotti from Washington University, Dr. Ty Beal from the Global Alliance for Improved Nutrition. And with this, I would like to welcome Andrew to...
All right. So guys, you can continue checking this out. I think I need to call somebody back. I think my sound is okay now towards the end. I think I said a lot of things. Some of them, by the way, I probably regret. like dogging on this early on, like way too much. Should have waited until I read a little bit about it, right? But like there are still a lot of things that I would disagree with, like the ultra processed foods, or like low fat is not necessary, I think. Maybe like for people who like have issues with obesity, probably, maybe, I don't know. Anyways, I mildly tolerate some of you. Well, thanks, Grace Liba. That's great. Appreciate it. Okay, everybody, thank you for coming. I appreciate you all. I'm sorry for the terrible sound for most of this video. As usual, the replay is going to be available for the people who want to watch the horizontal live stream. And yeah, I'll see you next time. I don't know.